Hi Mathsters, this is Jithin reporting from the Mad Mansion. I wanted to have a quick word with you guys around the review systems that we're going to roll out. I do understand that for some people, review might actually be a scary word. And I can totally understand because at the end of the day, reviews are compared to some extent to the examinations that we currently have in our school systems. And if you really think about it, they're actually quite scary. But unfortunately, they're scary because the exams that we have today, they're more about competition than about collaboration. They're more about judging a person than about helping him learn better, right? And the sad thing is that when we were born, we are actually very empathetic as people. We are very collaborative and we are actually very curious. We like to learn more. But for some reason, we go to this place to learn more. That place kind of gives us this numbers which and tells us that the people on the top who gets the most number of highest numbers are actually the winners and the lowest numbers are the losers. And for some reason they make us believe that all that matters is how much marks you actually get in the whole process. While if a school is a place where you go to learn about how the real world works, then that's not actually true. But if you really think about it, this is not how the real world really works. In the real world, there's actually always more than one right answer. And in the real world, there is always more than, there's more space for this first rank. There are a lot of people who can actually be the best in the space that they are in. And most importantly, in the real world, you cannot really achieve anything significant if you're actually working alone, if you're only bothered about yourself, right? A good example would be, let's say, the Ed Support Fellow in the organization. Imagine today, an average Ed Support Fellow in MAD probably makes a difference in the lives of 150 children or more. But imagine if there was no HR and PR supporting them, which basically means he had no volunteers. Imagine there was no fundraising fellow and finance fellow to give out the money. That means that he will not have books for his children, he will not have stationery for his children. And finally, if you do not have a city team lead to actually manage all these things, the whole thing would have actually been chaotic. If this Ed Support Fellow actually wanted to, based on the school system, wanted to make a difference all by himself, the best they can probably do is probably go to a street, probably make a difference in 10 to 20 children's lives. Now, I'm not saying that 10 to 20 children's lives is not a big deal, but today, because he's able to work in a team, he's actually able to make a difference in at least 10 times more that number. Today, we are living in a country where there are 20 million children that needs the support that we are talking about. I almost find it criminal when people feel that, when they don't work together, because when you work together, what you really do is you multiply your impact. So what I'm really trying to tell here is that in MAD, the reviews is very different from the school exams. Here, nobody is going to tell you whether you're a winner or a loser. Here, nobody is going to stack rank you, saying you're the best, you're the top, you're the top 5% of the country, or the bottom 5% of the country. We're only going to use this to help you learn and get better at whatever you're already doing. But there's also another thing that's different from school exams, which is that in school you can actually score really well if you just sit and study all by yourself. But in MAD reviews, it's almost impossible to get a good score if you're somebody who actually prefers to play alone and cannot actually work in a team. So what do the scores really mean? What are MAD reviews? In our opinion, or in my personal opinion, I believe it's nothing but a reflection of your learning process right now. It's just it just helps you understand where you are in your learning journey and where you want to be. So that, the best way to probably talk about this would be if you are a sailor, right? If you are a captain of a ship, then a review is nothing but more like a GPS system. It kind of tells you where you are right now and it tells you where your destination is. Yes, even if a captain does not ever look at his GPS, there is a chance that he will reach his destination. But if you're constantly looking at your GPS, the chance of you reaching there faster is a lot higher. Now, the important question here is, what do we do when we come to actually realize that we are not where we thought we were? When the captain realized that, this is not, the GPS is showing me something which I'm not ready to accept. There are different ways to take it. On one way, the captain can say, he can probably argue about the accuracy of the GPS. Say that, I don't think this GPS is super accurate because of whatever reasons it is. He can probably even get angry at its teammates. He'll say, I had told this guy to actually turn left there, but he did not turn, it's his fault. He can do that. There's nothing wrong in it. That might be true for all you know. He might actually feel guilty. He can say, I'm a terrible captain. I don't think I deserve to be in this position. And actually feel demotivated about it. Or my favorite, which is blame the weather, blame the ship, blame the wind. There are so many different ways you can actually take that situation. Or you can actually realize that, no information in the world is really perfect. that's another big realization that I've had. At no point do you actually have 100% of all information. But let's actually make the best of what we already have and see what we can learn from it and how I can actually plan my way forward. Because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that matters as far as the captain is concerned. It doesn't matter looking at how he was so far. It's more about, okay, what should I do for the next 1 month or the next leg of the journey, so it actually end up being more closer to a destination than I was earlier. As Mad Fellows, we are all going through a course which is called the LXD, and review is at the center of it. Unlike in school, where you actually get reviewed at the end of a chapter, in MAD, you actually start your reviews in the beginning of your journey itself. This is because we believe that leadership cannot be taught, it has to be learned. And to learn, you need to be self-aware. You need to know where you actually stand. So we've really tried our level best to design the review system in such a way, the content in your review system in such a way that it actually answers a lot of questions that every leader has about himself and the way he manages his people, right? Questions like, how supported do my people actually feel? How reliable am I in getting work done? Am I doing work at the right pace? Or most importantly, am I actually creating an impact on the ground? These are all questions that we actually would love to know. But the moment we know that, somebody else is going to judge us based on it, this becomes a problem. But if we just knew that this is information for us to actually make ourselves better, this is actually very interesting data if you think about it. So what I would really request you is actually to approach this whole review from a sense of curiosity. Because as I said, review is just the beginning of the journey. What really is going to matter is how you're going to take it. Are you going to use this review to actually make yourselves better? For example, are you going to get into small groups where you're going to discuss how you can actually improve it? Are you going to get the help of your strats? Are you going to find mentors? Are you going to reach out to the bros to actually be better at what you're actually doing? Because if you do that, then reviews, doing reviews on a 6-weekly basis is going to fundamentally increase the pace at which you're going to actually learn in this organization and in the real world. Now, the good news is that you're actually doing already a great job on the ground. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not the kind of guy who tends to say great job when I'm not really happy with it. I'm actually the kind of guy who gets really annoyed and frustrated in a meeting when things are not going in the right direction. But it's really hard to not stay positive when you actually see the amazing work that you guys are doing on the ground. I was in Bombay 2 weeks back and I saw a corporate relations fellow, Jeffrey, who was actually attending the English teacher training program. And he was not just attending it, but he was also actively participating in it. He was actually helping the trainer in facilitating it. And that really made my life a lot better, because if you really think about it, there's no reason that he's doing it, that he needs to do it. Nobody told him to do it. But there's a lot of value that he gets out of doing it, because now he knows what the organization is doing, but is also able to find different ways that Ed Support can actually support him in raising funds better. And you see the same thing all over. For example, HR is doing a fantastic, or the recruitment process that has happened in the last 1 month. We actually ended up recruiting a lot more people than we thought we will actually recruit, and recruitment is actually ending faster than we thought it would. So we are actually ahead of schedule when it comes to recruitment across the organization. And finally, what strats are doing. Strats are definitely the success stories of this quarter for a lot of us in the national team, because the amount of ownership and the amount of dedication that they have put in is something that makes us want to perform better. So yes, as an organization, we're doing fabulously well. So we thought, as bros, we want to give you guys a small gift, a bag of goodies. It's nothing much. We kind of got a folder together with stuff that bros find very close to our heart, and we want to share to you. And inside MAD, at the national level, we have a nickname for reviews. We call it Haseen Dard. So that's the password for the folder. I hope you guys enjoy whatever is there in it. So that's it. This is me, Jithin, and the rest of the bros signing off from the national office. Really hope that you guys have a very beautiful and exciting review season as the time comes, and I'm 100% sure this is actually going to be a great learning experience for you, and I'm sure that nothing is going to stop you in this journey.